2003. In addition, he was selected to the All-State Tournament Team Football State Championship, being named entitled Most Valuable Player. He helped win the Blue Knights' title in her junior year, 1975. She also served as West Virginia's All-Star. She was also captain of the Blue Knights squad. She was an All-ABAC and All-Valley Honors. She was also tabbed to the All-State Tournament of America. She's a three-sport athlete for the Blue Knights. She is bringing countless founders, Maroon Knight passion, and
I want to welcome all of you here. With that being said, we're going to get right into a prayer before we line up to eat, and then we'll have a welcome after that. But I do just want to say thank you all for coming. It's game time. It's time to get this show on the road. And with that, I'd like to introduce Caroline Zitzelberger, graduate of class of 2002, and she's going to give our prayer. Let's give her a nice warm welcome.
If we could bow our heads. Dear God, thank you for bringing us together to recognize the hard work and dedication of these Hall of Fame honorees. As we honor each name, help us to remember all glory belongs to you. Thank you for the friends and family who came to support and encourage these individuals. Without their love and support, this day would not be possible. Let us pray together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
As an alum, a contributor, we wouldn't exist to the level we do if it weren't for the people in this room. You're to be commended. From the administration of Wheeling Central Catholic High School, from an alum, I say thank you so very, very much. For me to be standing here, it's an honor. It's an honor to be standing in front of such outstanding people, big and little. It's great to have first I want to recognize our football moms, our boosters, for the food and everything. I want to thank Maggie Espina, who's worked with me every day, every other day on putting this event together and contacting you.
She's over here, Mike. To your right.
Okay, Maggie, thank you so much. You can't do it. A lot of times people say you did a great job, and I tell the kids themselves, it's not me, it's we. And it's a conglomerate of people working together to make this work. And I'm blessed to have people like Maggie working with me, and she puts up with a lot, but we have a great working relationship, and that's what a lot of it's all about. Excuse me. Our committee is made up of a number of people. We try not to say who they are because sometimes it gets to be a popularity contest and not what it's really meant to be, and that's recognizing outstanding athletes. But I would like to recognize these people, and that right over here is Peggy Daler, Stan Kineski, Mr. Larry Bandy, am I leaving anybody out? I got Maggie, and longtime friend and very good person in Bo McConaughey. We're going to start this off with Bo giving, each inductee is going to have an opportunity to come up and say thank you. We don't have a plug on this thing for me to pull, but you have 3 to 5 minutes because, but we do want you to be recognized for what you're doing. If you look at the brochures that we have in front of you, in there is the bio of each one of these people that are being inducted. So you can read that, and you'll know, what their accolades are, how they've been recognized over the year for all state and what sports and everything. And without a doubt, this is one of the best brochures that's been put out for a Hall of Fame banquet. I do want to tell you one quick story, though. I got to tell you this one. Years back, when I took over for Jim Thomas, who was a legend football coach here, he had passed away in the spring, and I was chosen to take over and follow a legend in him. And in 2005, we won the state championship. And I was going to the banquet in OVAC, and I'm thinking, this is great. I remember when JT was named Coach of the Year, maybe I got a shot at it. Well, I didn't get it, and the next year, we won the state again, and I go to the banquet, and I think, I got a shot at this. I didn't get it then either. Third year, we win it again. I thought, it's got to be me. And Doug Huff's there, and everybody's there, and they're starting to read out the names and everything, and I start to get up, because I know it's me, and it wasn't, and I just continued on and led the rest of the West Banco Arena in a standing ovation for Bubba Caprell. So that was a great lesson in humility, but that's what you do. But you want your recognition. You want people to remember you. Hopefully we'll remember it in a good way. And with that, I turn it over to Bo McConaughey.
All right, sit back, relax. We'll get this rolling. Let me get this unbuttoned first. Mike had a good point there. A lot of times coaches get all the credit. We do have some part in success, but it's the players who take the field who actually perform that deserve the credit. If there's any Hall of Fame people that have already been inducted, would you please stand, please? We'd like to recognize you guys. I saw several. Mike. Stand. Okay, like Mike said, you can read their accolades in the brochure. We're not going to go through that. And the first inductee we're going to have this year is Kimberly Bauer.
Hello, thank you all for coming. So I just want to start off by saying thank you to my person that nominated me, which is Mr. Seehee, and then thank you to the selection committee just for kind of considering me, selecting me. So I appreciate that. I'm very humbled. Central was a good time for me, but I just want to say, like, everybody probably says this, but you can't get where you are without a good support system. So I was fortunately blessed with some athletic talent and some academic talent, but you definitely have to put a lot of hard work into it, and you don't get there without your mom driving you to and from practices or your dad in the backyard making you pitch until you throw 3 batters out, whether you want to or not. And then my family, you know, just playing sports, and neighbor playing basketball with me in the backyard. But I'm very humbled to have this award, and thank you. So.
Good, thanks. I want to mention one thing I forgot to talk about early. The Hall of Fame committees ask every year, why did this person not get in? You know, they spend countless hours and meetings going through applications, and believe me, it's a good process and it's a fair process. So if you want to nominate somebody, there are nomination forms over here on the table. I think there's still some there, isn't there? Anyway, you can apply online. What's the Wheeling Central email? CCHSnights.org. And everything's right online there. All right, our next inductee, David Contregario.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's an honor to stand here with my fellow inductees. Thank you to Central's Hall of Fame committee. I grew up watching all the great Central players. I consider myself very fortunate to have benefited from the leaders who taught me the great game of basketball. I would like to thank my coaches, Mel Stevens, Joel Now, and Dave Wojcik, who I had the honor to play for. Coach Mel Stevens, as far back as I could remember, Coach Mel had a basketball in my hands. He always encouraged me, and I admired his knowledge of the game. I spent a lot of time playing regular seasons and summer leagues with Coach Mel Stevens, and I appreciate everything. Coach Joel Now motivated me, pushed me to get me to the varsity level. I was lucky enough to have played 2 years under Coach Now, who had a great love and passion for the game, which he passed on to me. He helped me transition from grade school to high school, teaching me fundamentals and discipline. He led our team to a state tournament run my freshman year. And Dave Wojcik showed me the intensity of the game. His constant motivation and encouragement led our team to 2 state championships. His energy was contagious. His mental toughness taught me to embrace pressure, stay focused, and be an aggressive competitor. And most importantly, I would like to thank my family. Thank you to my mom and dad for never missing my games, making sure I was always prepared while working full-time with 3 other children, traveling with me to basketball camps and tournaments all over the country. I'm excited to pass my love of basketball and my love of Wheeling Central to my son, Dylan, just as my dad, a Wheeling Central player himself, passed on to me, and I will forever cherish those memories. Thank you again for this honor, and once a night, always a night.
Thank you, David. I have to raise these things up all the time. Do want to take our next inductee, a gentleman I had the pleasure of coaching as an assistant coach when I came on staff in 1997. He's epitome of Wheeling Central in terms of blood, heart, tears, grit, grind. He did it all on the football field and on the basketball court, and that's Clayton Fitzsimmons.
Just want to start off by thanking Coach Young and the nominating committee for granting me with this such a wonderful honor. It's truly a privilege to be here speaking before you and being inducted to the Central Hall of Fame. I also want to congratulate my other fellow inductees. Having seen firsthand a lot of their accomplishments and now reading about the others, it's truly a privilege to be a part of this class. And this is particularly true for me because I'm being inducted with not only two of my teammates, Davey and Ricky, two of the cheering moderators during my time there, Miss Rose Palmer, Miss Paula Thomas, but also my dad. And Coach, you gave us 3 to 5 minutes to speak, which isn't a lot of time, and it's impossible for me to fully convey what Wheeling Central and this award means to me. But let me just try and kind of make 3 points here. And first is that I'm truly honored to be receiving this award, and this is very special to me because some of the best times of my life were spent here at Wheeling Central, and Wheeling Central Athletics has been such an instrumental part of my development as a person. And I've forged unbelievable friendships and bonds during my time, and have created memories that I will cherish and carry with me for the rest of my life. Second, just want to say how humbled I am to receive an award like this from a school like this. It's truly humbling. Wheeling Central, there's tradition and spirit of Wheeling Central is unrivaled, and there have been so many great and wonderful athletes that have worn the maroon and white over the years. And growing up as a kid, I'd go to all the Central games from Wheeling Island Stadium to downstate in Charleston, and you'd hear about the wonderful teams and the legends and legendary players that came before you, and you always desired and dreamed about being part of that history. So to now know that I'm a Hall of Famer and will forever be part of that legacy and tradition, it's really genuinely humbling and surreal experience. And finally, and Kim kind of hit on this a little bit too, and Davey as well, and I think it's true with any individual success, is that individual recognitions like this are not possible without a great team. And I had the most wonderful and tremendous team supporting me throughout my time in athletics here. First, my teammates, 2 of which I'm being inducted with, Davey and Ricky, and many others that are too countless to name, but some of them I look out and see Mike, Davey's older brother, Justin Edwards, Jake Daler, Jason Bauer, Donnie Murray. These are the guys that, we sweat together, we bled together, sacrificed for each other, and all kind of collectively bought into, what we are playing for was something always bigger than us. And, without them, I wouldn't be here, and I truly cherish my times with my teammates. The Wheeling Central community, there's not a group of supporters and fans that are more passionate and rally around their team than Central. And I think if, the epitome of that is Mr. Terry Murphy here, who's also being inducted here, that embodies that community and that spirit that Central is. My teachers and the administration here at Central during my time, they were always there to constantly provide support and guidance and instill in us principles and values, and oftentimes went above and beyond what was ever be expected of any teacher. My coaches, I had the privilege and honor to play for a lot of wonderful coaches, J.T. Thomas, Terry Edwards, Coach Young, guys that taught us not just about how to tackle or how to block, but more importantly taught us about what it was like and what it required to be a good person, a good man, future fathers, future husbands, and community members. And so thank you, Coach, and all the coaches there. Sorry. Last, I want to thank my family, who've been my rocks throughout my whole career. My mom's crying. This just got me here. So, my dad Bob, my mom Sonny, older brother Rocky, a younger sister Kayleen, who undoubtedly will be a Hall of Famer herself, and my current family, my wife Amy, daughter Bella, Farah, Poppy, and Forrest. You guys have been, thank you for your unwavering support that you've provided throughout me for the years, all the sacrifices you have made, and you guys have each individually pushed me, motivated me in your own unique ways, and I owe so much to you guys. So with that, I just want to, again, thank the committee and thank all of you for being here. And like Davey said, let's go Knights.
That was a great job, Clayton. Last night was memorable to a lot of us, especially our cheerleading group, and our football team on a great win, our student body on great enthusiasm. And like I told the kids before the game, I said, this is Hall of Fame week. This is Hall of Fame game. Central is all about family, pride, and tradition. Those aren't just words, it's a culture we have within us. A lot of people want it, a lot of people don't get it. But those that do know what I'm talking about, and that culture's there, and it's something that we were proud of. And we're proud to say that we're a Maroon Knight. Yesterday morning I was in the barber shop, I was getting my hair cut. It looks nice, doesn't it? Lady sitting in a chair there, and she said, hey, where are you from? I said, Wheeling Central. She said, oh, you guys recruit, don't you? I said, well, who are you? And she said, I'm from Williamstown. I said, well, to answer your question, I said, we don't recruit good enough. I said, we're going to do a better job of it. And she was stuck in that chair. She was getting her hair cut, so it didn't matter, And I had a great opportunity to just say, we don't recruit any more than anybody else. Everybody does it. We got to get better at it, and good luck this year, ma'am. But that being said, the next person is definitely family. She's been family and been a part of the Wheeling Central family, and of course the Gruber Palmer family is renowned throughout Wheeling Central's halls and through the years. So with that, I want to recognize the cheerleader, still jumping, still going strong, Rose Palmer.
Don't let me walk away without it. Well, Clayton, I almost started crying coming up, and I thought, well, you broke that ice, so I think, let's hope I can get through this. They said I had a dog voice when I used to cry at cheering, so I'll try to keep the dog voice away. Whether you're attending a Wheeling Central ball game or a booster steak fry, going to your class reunion or a football tailgate, walking through the school halls or attending a graduation party, stopping by summer cheering camp, or swinging by the gym to catch a game or practice, it feels like home. Wheeling Central has always felt like home to me. It is for this reason that I'm so very grateful and humbled to accept this honor. So thank you to the committee. Coaching cheerleaders was never a job to me. It was a privilege. It was a way of giving back to the sport I love dearly. And I hope we all consider it a sport. It was a way to help develop talents and skills, but more than that, a way to develop confident, kind, and faithful young ladies. My cheerleaders also taught me a great deal over the years. They overcame many injuries during my tenure. I watched these young ladies fight through broken fingers, broken feet, ankle sprains, ACL tears, broken noses, and the list goes on. I coached 6 young women, all in the same class here at Wheeling Central, who over the course of their 4 years lost a parent or a sibling Their faith and resilience carried them through their loss. And my girls were tough, and they made me tough. Representing our school was paramount to me. Cheerleaders are not only working towards OVAC and state championships, they're responsible for cheering football and basketball games, decorating lockers and houses, running pep rallies and sign painting, and all in the name of supporting their school. A cheerleader is, at their very core, a representation of their school and their school's spirit. That fact has never been lost on me and is something I try to instill in all the young ladies I coached. I would also be remiss if I didn't note the gratitude I feel for having the privilege of coaching my daughter, Caroline. Caroline was a varsity cheerleader for 4 years and our captain as a senior, and one of the hardest working athletes I know. We had always been close, but spending all that time in the gym together allowed us to develop an even more special relationship. I will forever be thankful for the opportunity to coach her and to watch her grow as a leader and now a mom. And she did the prayer today, if you all didn't know. That was my daughter, Caroline Zitzelberger. I would like to thank the committee for bestowing upon me this great honor. It is not taken lightly. I'd like to thank my predecessor, Cheryl Zambito. We coached together for 1 season, and she asked if I'd take over when she left. She gave me the opportunity to succeed as a coach and mentor. I wouldn't be here without that opportunity. I share this honor with Nikki Thomas. Who was, no doubt, the best choreographer in the state, hands down. I wouldn't be here without that opportunity. Her expertise contributed to our extreme success, and I will always be thankful to her and her friendship. Thank you to our 2 current coaches that I coached with, Jessie Spangler Becker, who I had the privilege of coaching here also, and Corey Pytranton. I loved coaching with both of them, and I will always be grateful for them to allow me, even now, to come to practices when I need my cheering fix. A huge thank you goes to one of my mentors and fellow inductee, the legendary Clayton. I thought I was going to do good. The legendary Paula Thomas. And you're all here, you're wonderful. Paula was the face of Wheeling Central cheering for 30-plus years. She gave her heart and soul to our program and always refused recognition. I know Nikki called, we were having a hard time finding pictures of Paula because she would hide when the cameras would come. I wish she were here on this special day to share in this moment with me. I must thank my family, my daughter Caroline, who always supported me as a coach. She shared the gym with her friends and also her mother, which couldn't have always been easy, but she never complained. To my son Jack, who also played 4 years of football at Wheeling Central. I think maybe we put in 2 years of basketball and 4 years of baseball. And to my daughter Valerie, who gave up their mom while I spent hours in the gym. They never objected, rather. They were some of my biggest supporters throughout my career. And of course, my husband Jack, who was a 4-year Wheeling Central ball player and also went on to play football at West Virginia. Let's go Mountaineers. Coaching wasn't easy. While I loved it, I certainly had my days when I'd come home after a gym full of teenage girls that would leave me feeling defeated. Jack was always there to lend me an ear or shoulder, and I will forever be grateful, honey. Thank you. Also, I wanted to thank my niece Ava, and I think she's already left. She was a cheerleader that was serving. She's the last Grubler to go through Wheeling Central. All my siblings that are here, there's 5 out of 9 of us here, counting me, so that's pretty good turnout for me. Especially my sister Lenny is all the way in from Ocean City as a surprise. And I don't know if you noticed, well, maybe you didn't, but last night my dad was there. They brought him in his wheelchair, 92 years old, big Central fan, and he watched from up at the scaffolding so that he could see me. They just told him yesterday, and he said, well, we got to go. So can't tell him things too soon. He gets a little anxious. But I think he may have enjoyed the game more than he did halftime. Because when I went up to talk, he was watching the plays. I was bothering him. Finally, I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees. You've all contributed to this place we once called home, a place that played a part in making us who we are today. I am honored to be part of this amazing group of athletes and coaches. Thank you.
Moving right along, a couple people I would be remiss if I didn't recognize, and they work with our athletic department, do a tremendous job. Mr. Donnie Murray. Where's Donnie? Donnie right here. Thanks for all your time, hard work, and effort. Donnie helped put the programs together. He does a great job with 20 sports we now have here at Central. That's a lot of sports for a small single-A school in the state of West Virginia. We just added archery. Whoever thought? But we got sports that we have opportunities for kids to get involved in a lot of different activities. A person I'd like to recognize, he's the YSS Man of the Year, the legend, the myth, the great guy, and Mr. Tom Burgoyne. Tom, thank you for everything. Also, president of our board. Tom, can't thank you and your family enough for all that you've given to Wheeling Central on and off the field in terms of support and being an honorary coin tosser last night, which we won, and we were glad of. We just had a lousy start, but we'll get better at that. Talking about families, talking about tradition, culture, we're very, very fortunate that, in 1997, Jim Thomas, I stepped down from a job at St. Clarenceville, and Jim Thomas called me and said, hey, Mike, would you like to come down to Central and coach? I said, I don't know. I said, I'll give it some thought. But I did, and it's one of the greatest thoughts I had in terms of coming, and it's been a great experience for me to be able to say that Jim Thomas gave me a start, and I can't thank him enough. And, just to say a couple words about his wife, Paula, that was a match made in heaven for sure. You guys know that as well as I do. It was comical. They got along like gas and oil, or they got along like... But you knew they loved each other, and you knew they had a great amount of love for each other, and that's what made you guys what you are. Thomas family, I said this at your dad's eulogy. He had championships, but his championships are right here with you. You guys made a great family with that, and I'd like to introduce Tina Thomas, Angstrom. No? Nikki's going to do it. Nikki said she's going to do it. Come on, Nikki. Hey, Casuccio? Casuccio. I blew it at the reverse raffle, too, didn't I?
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, you probably should have put me before Rose because now I was doing really well, and then she got me all worked up. So, good morning, and thank you all for coming here today and for having us in support of my mother. For those of you who don't already know me, I am Nikki Thomas Casuccio. I'm the second born of the late Paula and Jim Thomas. It is great to be home here in the halls where I can truly say I grew up. Even the smell of this place brings back great memories. My heart is so full right now. Today we celebrate the Hall of Fame, and wow. Congratulations to all of the other inductees here today, and how amazing is this? It is an honor and a privilege to represent somebody so very special to me and my family, my mom, Paula Thomas. Anyone who knew my mother knows she would be eating this up right now. She would love to be standing here at this podium and thrilled to be accepting this award. So today, I'll do my best to speak on her behalf. My mom dedicated herself for 4 decades to the students she saw as athletes. She saw talent, heart, athleticism, and the making of a dynasty, which is what we have. Mom knew how to perfectly blend fierce loyalty along with unmatched sportsmanship and respect for the opponent. In one practice, you might catch her making up the absolute best jabs to paint on a sign for the upcoming big game. At the same time, she would be instructing us and her teams on how to conduct yourself during a shared practice with your town rival. Everything she did was with a purpose. It was run like clockwork. She had a polish about it that not only set her teams apart, but it set her apart. She made Wheeling Central Cheerleading a program talked about from Oakland to Bluefield. Mom was a coach, a surrogate mother, a disciplinarian, a flag maker. This is the original flag that Mom made clear back in the 70s, and they are still using it today. And thank you for bringing it. She was an Uber for many, a jokester, a friend to more people than she could ever imagine. Our life at home was much like The Blind Side, except it wasn't just one athlete in a mansion. It was several athletes in a one-bathroom home. She welcomed anyone who needed help into our home and treated us all like we were family. Anyone who spent time with her carries the sound of her gravelly laugh that echoed through the halls here. She effortlessly made her athletes want it, not only the wins, but she made them want the respect for their team and the support. She made them proud to wear maroon and white. And in turn, she took pride in all the young adults that her athletes would become. In accepting this award, there are many thank yous. The first being my mom's parents and her sisters, Tina and Becky. They were her support system who molded her into the person she became. One of them is here with us today, my Aunt Tina. The extended Thomas family. We are so proud to be Thomases. Just look around, this whole front section is full of Thomases. They all came here today to support my mom, just like they did when my dad was inducted years ago. I'd like to thank the selection committee for considering my mom. This is a great honor, thank you. Our central family, extended to the assistant coaches that my mom had the opportunity to coach with, and the head coaches, and the football coaches. Thank you so much. And also the cheerleaders that she was privileged enough to coach. Most of all, I know she would love to thank my dad, Coach Jim Thomas. And I can hear him right now up in heaven saying, "Damn it, Paula, you followed me up here and now you're following me into the Hall of Fame," right? I can hear him saying it. And then I'm sure she would love to thank her 4 children. And of course, everyone knows she couldn't have done it without us, right? Whether it's stated or unstated, every family has a set of values. Our family values are probably no different from many in this room. Treat people with the way you want to be treated. Respect your elders, work hard, etc. In addition, those values were a few that were never, there were a few values that were never mentioned, but evident in our everyday lives. Service, community, commitment to kids, selflessness, giving back, and using your talents for the greater good. These are the things that we witnessed every single day in our home. When my father passed away, they created a towel, which I forgot to bring up. Sorry. They created this towel. Pride lives on. Well, Mom, and you too, Dad, your 4 kids are trying to follow your lead, whether it be coaching, teaching, mentoring, or tutoring. We are doing our best to make sure that your legacy remains and your pride does live on. Thank you.
Couple things. When Rosie was talking about her teaching cheerleading, when she got to the injury part, I thought it was a rookie karate class. Broken ankles and everything. Hey, never be ashamed to cry up here, okay? There's a lot of emotion involved. I had to demonstrate. Our next inductee is Kristin Roberts. God bless you. That's something her dad used to say all the time.
Hi, thank you, everyone. I'm honored and extremely grateful to be a part of the class of 2022. Thank you to Central's Hall of Fame committee, Maggie, and everyone who had a part in making this weekend so special for all of us. Thank you to my family and friends for being here today. Your love and support is more than I deserve. And to be a part of a family that loves each other big, knows how to enjoy life, and has so much fun together has been the biggest blessing. In addition to my family, I would like to dedicate this day to two very special people. First is our dad, Larry Williams, who nominated me and who would have enjoyed this day more than I can imagine. I'd often hear him telling his friends the play-by-play of our match and would definitely let them know if we had a bad ref. He was always proud of us and had the most sincere way of showing it. He and Mom taught us to not sweat the small stuff, work hard, be tough, and keep things light. He wanted us to enjoy life by embracing each day with a grateful heart and a good sense of humor. The second person is Coach Floyd Deaton. Coach Deaton was our football coach, track coach, but volleyball became his passion. He ended up taking us to state championship in just his third year. He focused on culture, being mentally tough, and building leaders within his program. He kept it simple and prepared me for my career at Marshall University, which is where I met my husband, Brian. He poured into his players, and I am grateful for what he taught me about the game and my approach to it. My time at Central were some of the best days of my life. I was surrounded with great friends, family, teammates, teachers, and coaches that loved us and genuinely wanted the best for us. I am forever grateful for those days. Brian and I now get to continue to watch our kids, Jake, Riley, and Nate, learn these same important life lessons. Thank you very much.
Hey, we're doing great. We haven't gonged anybody yet. But you can take as much time as you want, as long as it's short. Our next inductee, Ricky Yan. Now, Mike, you should stand next to him and see how tall you are.
I'd like to start by thanking Principal Sancombe, Coach Young, Coach Stevens, and the entire Hall of Fame committee. And I also want to congratulate all the other inductees today, especially two of my former teammates, Clayton and David. Everyone says practices have to be harder than the games, and that was definitely true for us. Clayton was so tough, David was so talented. There were very few teams that we played that were better than what we faced in practice every day. I'm so honored by this recognition, and I know any success I've enjoyed is because of the people I've been blessed to be around, many of you that are in this room. I'm so grateful to have been at Central during such a special time, to have played with incredible teammates, and to have played for coaches like Coach Stevens, Coach Now, and Coach Wojcik, especially during our state championship run. I'm in high schools recruiting about 100 nights a year, and I can say this for certain, nowhere compares to Central. I remember when Mr. Burgoyne came back and when he was introduced to the student body, They had quoted him as saying that he had been all over the country, but there were few good places left in the world, but Wheeling Central was one of them. I don't know if that was a direct quote, but 20 years later, I couldn't agree more. I was also blessed with an incredibly supportive family. My mom always thought that I was the best at everything I did, and while that wasn't true, she made me believe in myself and gave me the confidence I needed to chase my dreams. If you've ever been to a game with my dad, many of you have, you know he's not the constant encourager that my mom is, but he helped me to refuse to accept anything but my best effort and develop the work ethic necessary to chase those dreams that my mom was helping create. My brother Brian, while we had a typical brother-sibling rivalry at times growing up, looking back now, it means so much to know how many games we got to watch each other play in. Two of my most unforgettable basketball memories involved my brother at state championship games. The first was in 2002 when we won the state championship, and my brother got knocked down during the celebration and ended up with a giant footprint on the back of his head that lasted a couple of days. My other favorite memory was a few years later in that same building when I got to watch him win a state championship with his own team. I managed to celebrate that without getting stepped on, though. And of course, I want to thank my wife, Lindsay, and our 3 kids, Evelyn, Charlotte, and William. You've supported me and allowed me to continue chasing this dream. Any success I had while I was here at Central was because I was surrounded by great people and great teammates, and any success I've had in life because I've been surrounded by you all. To close, I'd like to share one story about our former principal, the late, great Doc. It was the Monday after we won the state championship, and Doc was going through the morning announcements like he always did, and as he's getting ready to announce that we had won the championship, I don't know why, but my 17-year-old mind expected that we would have this massive celebration, there would be all this praise heaped upon us, and if you know Doc, that's not how it went. Instead, he just very matter-of-factly said, almost word for word, "Our boys basketball team won the state championship this weekend. We're very proud of them. But at Wheeling Central, we don't focus on the great things we've done in the past. Our focus is on what great things we can do next." And then he just went right into the next announcement for the day. I learned so much during my time at Central, but like so much that happens here, so many of the great lessons are learned outside of the classroom, and nothing may have been more impactful than that lesson that day. When we were here, Central started using the motto, "Where championship lives begin," and Doc's message that day brought those words to life in a way that I carry with me to this day. Winning a championship here was great, but it's the foundation for a championship life that I'm eternally grateful for. I have always been proud to say that I went to Central, so it's one of the great honors of my life knowing I've also made Central proud. Thank you, and go Knights.
You know, recognizing Paula Thomas and Rose Palmer, it's only fitting that we recognize another great fan and a great cheerleader we have that's driven our kids all over the state of West Virginia. He's been with us for a number of years, and when we needed defense last night, he came. I could hear his voice above them all, and with that, I'd like to introduce Terry Murphy. Defense. Yep.
As everybody knows, I'm not the best to do this stuff, but I just want to thank the Central and the HOF committee and my family that nominated me. And I've driven a lot of these kids around, cheerleaders, basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is. And it's been a thrill for me, but there's been a couple things that really have good memories for me, and that was the '96 state championship team that my son was on, and he did a great tournament down there and made the all-tournament team, made me proud. Then in 2020, my grandson was on the tournament team that went to Charleston, and he made me proud. Now I hope that I have more memories coming up, because my daughter is coaching volleyball right now, freshman, and my granddaughters Carly and Haley are on that team, and hope to have more memories. But that's about as much as I can do. I'll do the busing as long as I can and keep it going. So let's go Knights. Yeah, but
Murph, yeah.
I think he'd have to write a book, not about the players on the bus, but the coaches after certain games. The stories he could tell. And I don't want to mention any names.
We always save the best to last, you know that, and I'm very honored to be able to introduce this next gentleman who's been, in many, many ways, an unbelievable supporter of Wheeling Central and, of course, Corpus Christi, but not just for athletics, not just for the teachers. He's here for all of Central. A guy I have had the pleasure of knowing for a long time, had the opportunity to be around his children and his wife, and you talk about a guy with such great demeanor and professionalism. Now give this to Bob Fitzsimmons. I had to go receive a plaque for Bob out at Wheeling University a couple years back, and I told him, I said, you know, when I was in high school, he used to carry my shoes to practice.
He still says that.
And now I'll carry his money bag wherever he wants me to take it.
Thank you, Mike. I drew the short straw, so I get to go last. I was told this won't count towards my 3 minutes. A little story, yeah. So the judge, we were listening to great arguments and stuff, and the case was already won. And of course, lawyers like to talk. So I wanted to jump up afterwards and say something. The judge is looking at me, and I'm jumping. I said, just have a few more minutes. He said, Mr. Fitzsimmons, if you want to lose your own case, go ahead and do it. You've already won the case. So maybe I should keep it short, and I will try to keep it short. First of all, I want to thank everybody for the award. It's really nice to be recognized by your high school. It's something special. And I want to congratulate all the other awardees here. There's something common about everybody that came up here and spoke, and that's that they're winners. And I really didn't hear anything about that. And that's not even what I planned on. It's not even what I wrote down here, but I heard it today, and it's something common. It's something that people just don't give up. When they have a cause, they fight for it. And they do it professionally. And everybody that was here, the Davies, the Rickies, I grew up with the Contregarios, the Yawns, these are all common names, the Palmers. And by the way, Rose isn't, as when she started crying there, she's competitive, she's a fighter, she's a winner. And I know that person. We have a personal little story. It's a fun story I'd love to tell. We only tell it with a couple beers first, but she's competitive. What a wonderful family. Each one of these, and I gave some quotes of Jim Thomas, just unbelievable coach and a person. And Paula was right there the whole time, just as important pushing. And all our athletes, they were winners. They were people that just didn't give up. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about tradition a little bit. Wheeling Central Catholic's based upon a rich and strong tradition of religion. We kind of leave that out sometimes. We hear about the touchdowns and stuff like that, but it's a religious-based education. And that's been defined as something that's inherited, established, or a customary pattern of thought, action, or behavior passed on from generation to generation. And that's the other thing common with the young is if you're a young, you got to go to Central. If you're a McConaughey, Bo, when Bo was there, And Bo was 4 years older, and he was a star baseball player, basketball player. And all you heard about was him and his brother Chavi playing basketball. We had names, and those names have been passed down. And if you look at the people here, they've passed down that education, and they continue to send their kids because it's a based religious school. And tradition's something, it's part of your life. You learn that. We do certain things because other people do it. They teach us through traditions. It's like the Hall of Fame. We do that tradition and we honor. And people coming after us know that there's honors to be had because you're going to stand out and set examples. And that's really what this is, to set examples in tradition. And I remember, and these guys are older, my sister Lynn, who came all the way from Sarasota, Florida, is here also. She'll remember the girls were on one side of the school and the guys were on the other, and you weren't allowed there, and there was no trespassing ever. And the brothers would come by. We had these brothers in these cloaks, and they had their rosaries. And, you would think the rosaries, you're supposed to pray it, right? It's something holy, right? They'd be swinging that sucker there, and you didn't know if you were going to get slapped on the side of the head with it. Another tradition they had with the nuns would patrol the other side. And when I say patrol, I mean these nuns would patrol. They were sweet, nice ladies, but they were tough. And they had this exercise that when you got caught chewing gum or something, the Bible is supposed to be a religious book, right? We had to hold the Bible out in our hands 2 minutes if you got caught doing something. Now, that's tradition, but I remember that. Now, did that teach me anything? Was it for football so that we had bigger arms or were strong? I don't think it was that. It was for corporal punishment, pure and simple. But it taught me a lesson. There was something about that religion. It was a discipline, and that's what they were teaching. It wasn't to punish you. It was to teach that it's something just like tradition. You have to follow rules, and you have to pass that on from generation to generation. And that's how we continue to become a better world and better people. And Central has that. We have many of those traditions. The people also tradition with the last names, the Youngs, Becky Sandcombe. We have some phenomenal leaders. The brothers and the sisters, the Maris brothers and the sisters of St. Joseph were crucial. And we actually need, I think, a more Catholic presence in this school. We don't have that symbol of people walking with cloaks, or the priest with the white collars, or the nuns walking down with the habits. We need more of that. We have it now, and we've been able to preserve it. Doc Vigoletti was a wonderful leader that we had. Becky Sandcombe, Mike Young. Now we have the Bo McConaughey's. We have the Donnie Murrays of the world. We have good coaches. We have those people still believe in that and still are passing that tradition down, but we still need more of that, and we need to all advocate that. Everybody here who I know are supporters of Central, we need to kind of advocate that. Gene Ostrowski has been crucial down here also. So, and I want to, in addition to my sister, I want to thank my beautiful wife, a wonderful wife who's been so supportive in sending our kids to Central. And my 3 children, everybody, I think most everybody knows Rocky and Clayton and Kayleen. Of course, Clayton was up here earlier with a really good, I was really proud of his speech. He did good. He did good. And Kayleen, we've always had a battle in our family between Kayleen and Clayton. I mean, I'm talking about screaming battles sometimes at the table as to who the greatest athlete was in our family between Clayton and Kayleen. And Rocky decided he was going to do it from a democracy, and so we voted. There's 5 of us, right? So we decided to vote for it. None of you would be surprised that it was a tie vote. How can it be tied with 5? There was 1 vote cast for each of the 5 members of our family. So anyway, all the way from Allegheny, I went to Allegheny College, which is a wonderful college, and anybody has a child that's thinking about college, they came all the way down from Meadville, Pennsylvania. Coach Jamie and Coach Andrew from Allegheny College are here today also. I played football at Allegheny for 4 years and was on probation, 2 social and 1 academic, 3 years. So those are my stats from Allegheny. Anyway, I want to thank everybody here, my wife especially, for her support in being able to send our kids to Central and continue that tradition. And also I want to thank all of you for doing the same and continuing that. And God bless everybody, and I hope that we continue, and I know we will. This is a strong school. It's getting stronger, too, by the way. These guys are out bringing people not just to play athletics, which is neat and fun and all that stuff, but there's more. There's much more to this. There's glue that holds this school together. And I wanted to quote, and I gave the quote to one of the Thomases last night, who were one of my favorite families. Jimmy he's a character. They don't make characters like that. And Paula was also a character. They don't make characters like that anymore. And they're wonderful. But Jim Thomas, after Clayton's team in 2000, they won the state championship. We hadn't won it 21 years. Had a drought. Central was down a little bit at the time. And Jimmy Thomas was on TV. We were watching the interview and stuff like that. And they said, Jim, is this the best football team you've ever coached? You know, it's just a loaded question. You can't answer that question and win. You know, that's just a total loss. And he said to the guy, he said, you know what? He says, I can't tell you that answer right now. He said, in 30 years, you ask me the same question, I'll be able to tell you. I'll tell you what type of fathers these people are, what type of men they are and become, and what type of community members they are. He says, then we'll know whether this was the greatest team ever. And that thing just impressed me, and I've told the Thomas, I steal it. I never give Jimmy credit outside this room. I take the full credit for it, but you're allowed to do that sometimes. And it's something about Central that I do think it's special. I'm still supportive, and I always will be. And I think everybody here is obviously also. It's part of our life, and it's who we become. And hopefully we'll continue that tradition here. Thank you.
Bob, you won the case. And Kayleen, you're the best one of them. I got to tell you that too, okay? You got my vote if they ask for it. In all seriousness, it's been a great morning. I have one other person I have to recognize, and she's my boss, and she does an unbelievable job. She's been strained somewhat with the weather, the same way I have, with a little bit of a cough. We've both been tested, so you don't have to worry about us. We're okay. Bo won't get real close to this microphone after I talk, but that's okay too. But no, I want to take a moment just to say, after the banquet and everything, we will be doing a tour of the school. If anybody wants to go up onto the first, second floors. We have ACT testing going on the third floor, but we will hit the first and second floors, and anybody who wants to go up to the gym. We have definitely elevated the appearance of our building through great help and support of our alumni. Of course, Bob being one of those, and we're able to compete. There's three great things in Wheeling, and we're one of the three, and we have great respect for the other two. But if the fit is good for you, we want you here. If the fit is good for your child, we want you here. Like Doc said a long time ago, all of us, all of you, are called to greatness. This room is full of greatness. Thank you so very much for everything. I want to now just turn this over to our principal. Not again.
She can come up a minute. She's still working over there. Hey, we also have a alumni association that you can also go online and join our alumni association. Now, we need to get a lot more alumni involved, and we'd like to have more events to bring more alumni back. And like Bob said, we might get some more students in from that. Thank you. Becky.
Our principal, Miss Becky Sanko.
Thank you so much. I'm glad the microphone was set for Coach Young's level, so hopefully you can hear me well. Did you notice who he took pictures with? They were all at his height level. Yeah. There was a method to the madness. But good morning, everyone, and thank you so, so much for being here. This is always one of my favorite days of the year at Central Catholic High School. And unfortunately, I missed last night because I am under the weather a little bit. But I was so excited to have the opportunity to listen to Maggie developing the plans for today and working with Mike, and their excitement for this event just tells how much pride they have in it. So I want to say a special thank you to Maggie Espina and Mike Young and Bo McConaughey for all the work that they put into this day, but for more than that, all of the love and heart that they put into it, because they truly love our school. They're all alumni, and they're just very special people to have a part of our school because they care so much. And so I'm so grateful for that. I also wanted to recognize again, Mr. Burgoyne, who's the president of our board. And again, when you speak about people who embody the love of CCHS, he is one of those people. And I'm not from Wheeling. I didn't go to Wheeling Central. I'm a transplant from the great state of Maryland. But I learned so much about CCHS from people like Mr. Burgoyne and his family, and what it means to be a Maroon Knight. From the first day I stepped into this school a little over 11 years ago. And so I'm so grateful to you, Mr. Burgoyne, for sharing your passion and for continuing to support our student athletes and our students and our school in the so many different ways that you do. You're welcome. And I also wanted to recognize Mr. Larry Bandy, who retired as our president just 2 years ago, but still continues to be so supportive of everything we're doing here at CCHS. Like I said, I'm a transplant here at CCHS, but it has become my home. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to celebrate all of you and all of your accomplishments. I think I'm so drawn to this school, not just because I'm blessed to be the principal of it, but because the traditions, the faith, the family is something I'm very familiar to in the way I grew up. I'm one of 8 children, and so faith and family were at the forefront of everything my parents instilled in us. And that valued system is so alive here at CCHS. And we talk to our students all the time about being united in our mission and in our faith. And we talk about the over 155-year traditions of this school and why that makes it so special to come to school here. It is a privilege to go to school here. And they begin to understand as they go through their time here how much support they have from people who've never even met them, who don't know them, from people who don't even have children here anymore, or grandchildren here anymore. And that is such a wonderful and special thing. And I thank you all so very much for all of your support and for what you have done for Wheeling Central. And I'm so happy to occasionally be able to say thank you and to celebrate some of the greatness that has come before us. And so congratulations to each and every one of you. I'm blessed to be the principal here. I'm now blessed to have a child that goes to school here and have 2 more following. And so we know here at Central, every day is a great day to be Maroon Knight, but particularly days like this. It is a great day to be Maroon Knight. Once a night, always a night, go Knights. Thank you.